Hey guys, thanks for stopping back by. Now, in my first video, I made this little tripod. Now, I quickly ran into some limitations with this. For instance, what if I wanted an angle like this? Or like this? This thing worked, but it only worked for pretty much one angle. So, I built a new one. Alright, well first off, I just want to let you know, it really sucks to film this without my new fancy tripod. Anyway, so we need to take these parts here. I guess you probably want to see where these parts came from. So we're going to take a quick field trip to Amphibious Marine. This is where I spend my days. This is how I pay my bills. We build hovercrafts, much like that one right there. But anyway, I'm going to see what I can find here for scrap and use some of the tools in the shop. Stop. Aha! This, and that is actually exactly what I'm looking for. That'll be perfect. Well, after I looked out in the metal scrap, I went over to the wood scrap bin, which is actually just a cardboard box full of some crappy wood. And we had these rounds that are left over from a hole saw out of, I don't know, a mold we made or something. But they'll work perfect. They didn't have to be round, it just worked out that way. I just drew some lines on them, so I had some kind of reference when I went to cut them. Nothing too precise, just a general idea of where I was going to put this thing on the bandsaw so that I didn't make the wrong one or whatever. Anyway, this is probably not the best way to use the bandsaw. This is fairly dangerous, so don't do what I do. And then, threw it on the belt sander, made it pretty. Again, I didn't really need to do any of this stuff, but I had the tools at my disposal. So I figured, why not just, make it a little nicer looking. I realize not everyone is going to have a stainless TIG welder laying around, or the ability to weld stainless, but I thought it looked cool on the video. And again, the tools were at my disposal, so why not do some TIG welding? Yes, it gets very hot, hence the glowing orange bolt. It's important to note that also, if you heat stainless that much, it tends to lose some of its stainless properties. But for this project, I didn't care. I was trying to go fast. I was on lunch. And the quench. Well, there you go. It's all welded up. But it doesn't look as pretty as it could. So I got a sandblaster. Might as well use it, right? Again, overkill, but I had the tools. Alright, well, now you know how I came up with the stuff. Let's put it together. So first off, I got this nut and bolt that I made at work. I just welded 2 more nuts on the end so it works like a wing nut. I've got a nut. That is clearly a washer. I've got a washer. Important. You're going to need one of these. I've got these 2 wood blocks that I made. One notch down the center, one notch off to the side a little bit. I also glued a little wood block to this and then stapled some sandpaper to it. It helps the thing from twisting. You'll see in a minute. Now this is a little bit of a different story. This is off a home-built hovercraft. It's a stainless steering shaft. I realize most people are not going to have access to this. You could just as easily use a dowel and a piece of wood, but this was already there and built, so I took it. Now, as far as the stuff I already had laying around, selfie stick. Pirated it from my wife. Yep, it's pink. Don't care. Works good. This, weight, obviously, for getting your swole on. But when you're not getting your swole on, it can hold your tripod pretty well. Let's put this thing together real quick. Take your steering shaft. Set the weight down over the top. This will hold it in place. Then you take your block that has the notch down the center, put the notch against this thing, take your nut, bolt. God, you think I'd know my hardware by now. Take your bolt, run it through, take your other guy here, put it with the notch on the inside. Washer, important. Put the washer on the outside. Take this guy, figure out how to thread it on. The reason I welded them is so I could do this. Works quickly for adjusting it. And you just take your selfie stick, put it right in just like that, tighten this thing up, and bingo bango, instant tripod. You've got all kinds of adjustments here. I realize it's a little goofy, but it works great. Now, I can do stuff like this, or up, or down, or whatever. Could I just as easily have bought one? Oh, for sure. Could I have bought one for freer than I did? No. I'm also coining the term freer. But, I don't know, it was free. It was pretty easy to build. It was a fun little project. I made it at lunch, mostly, and it works really well. And that's the whole point of what I'm trying to get across here. Anyway, so yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and maybe I'll come up with something else, hopefully sooner rather than later, but we'll see. Thanks for coming by.